Look, I'm going to talk to you today about gaining attention online using social media and using very cost-effective, sometimes free tools to get your business front and centre. And I'm going to have to move here because it's kind of looks strange. And I want to talk about it in, I suppose, in the guise of my own business. I'm a mum. I have 3 boys, and I'm sort of the primary carer for those boys at home. My husband's a workaholic. He works crazy hours. He travels a lot. So, you know, I needed to somehow incorporate a business because I loved what I was doing. I was working in PR and marketing, but I needed to really sort of create it in a space that was, you know, conducive to raising children and being available and being able to sort of drop everything if a child's sick, that sort of thing. So, and I always joke that I hope I'm joking, I always joke that I must have been a pretty crappy PR professional, so public relations professional, because I just always thought it was completely flawed in terms of the process. For those of you who are new to sort of PR, a lot of the times the stories that you see are generated by a public relations professional, and they send press releases or they have relationships with journalists. And so you have clients that say, look, you know, can you write a press release about something that may not be very newsworthy at all? And then they'll say, did you follow it up with the journalists? Did they get the press release? You know, do you know if they got the press release? And you go, yeah, I think they got the press release. I don't think email's, you know, really fallen down and there's a real problem there. But I'll follow up anyway. And then the journalist kind of gets annoyed because they're like, yes, I got your press release. If it was worthy of, you know, any attention, I would have called you back. And so you've got this kind of strange cat and mouse tango that goes on between, say, the media and bloggers, and I'm including bloggers in that space too because they're a very sort of powerful influencer in that space in terms of what we read nowadays. And so I thought, there's got to be a better way of connecting people with really great stories to tell, businesses that have something, you know, wonderful to share, and the media and bloggers. And so us as an audience get to hear much more interesting and sort of exciting stories rather than the same hackneyed sort of stories from the same people all the time. Anyway, so that was sort of the origins of my business, SourceBottle, which is a free service that connects journalists and bloggers with sources. But and I'll sort of explain how that falls into the main sort of topic I'm going to talk about today, which is helping you in your business get attention and raise attention to your business using very low cost or free tools. But I do have to say the sky's the limit if you follow this process, because that's really what I'm talking about. And for a lot of people that are in this space and that are savvy in this space, everyone's talking about content marketing, and that's kind of incorporated in this process. So I think the sky's the limit, but, you know, the process is simple, but it requires commitment and it takes hard work. You know, you need to set up the process and then, you know, follow the process. And that just means a little bit of grunt and sweat. And I just think Yoda says it much better than me. Anyway, so look, I'm going to talk about four main components of this system. And I'm going to talk firstly about making the most of reactive publicity and promotional opportunities. And that's where SourceBottle comes in. So, you know, and I've said, what are they? And they're the ones when they seek you out. So you're not actually having to look for them. They come and find you. And you go, oh, that's a great opportunity. I'll put my hand up. And then I'm going to talk, the second one is about proactive publicity and promotional opportunities. And they're the ones that you seek out. And, you know, they require a little bit more work. And I'm going to talk about ways to leverage really, really effectively your efforts so that everything you do, you get the most mileage from. And in these days where social media is just so powerful in terms of not just connecting people, but disseminating messages and content, that it plays a very, very important role in leveraging as much as possible from the work that you do. And then the fourth component is talking about integrating it all into a coordinated campaign. And so if you incorporate all those elements into a process that becomes part of your routine, I honestly can guarantee the sky's the limit in terms of getting your business front and centre in the minds of your target audience. And I am honestly saying that that's exactly what I've done. So if we go back to the first one, reactive publicity and promotional opportunities, so the ones that find you. This is my business. This is SourceBottle. And if you take away anything today, what I really, really want you to take away is a web address. So it's, you know, if you've got a pen or if you've got a photographic memory, it's www.sourcebottle, as in not tomato sauce, source, S-O-U-R-C-E, bottle.com. And the reason I'm saying this is I'm not plugging my service. It's a free service, but it is such an easy way to generate really powerful publicity opportunities by just receiving the email alerts. Because what is contained in these email alerts, if you sign up as a source, you pick your topics, and then you'll get every day, every weekday, at least 1 or 2 emails with journalists calling out for your expertise. So you get a chance to tell your story. And I've got plenty of examples. I know one, a girlfriend of mine who's become a friend via social media, of course, as well, who was starting a shoe business. And she had this business, and she'd sort of created this prototype design for a little shoe that was kind of like a slipper. And she called it Tipsy Toes. So it was going to be most useful for women, particularly if they'd had a few drinks and they were feeling a little bit lightheaded, and perhaps their shoes weren't terribly comfortable and wanted to take them off and just retain a bit of dignity and put them on. Anyway, so she had this business, and she just was waiting on the container load of her first, shipment of product. And she responded to a call out on SourceBottle, and it was an anonymous call out saying, we're just looking for innovative businesses. She got a call. It was actually, I think it was Today Tonight. It was Today Tonight, and it was really timely because it was the time of Spring Carnival, and they were always looking for ideas that would potentially be appropriate to suggest to women at Spring Carnival who have uncomfortable feet. So before her first shipment container arrived, she had been, her product had been promoted to over 1 million people. Let's just say 1 million. I think probably more, around 700,000 or 800,000, but that's significant, and it was free. It was a free opportunity that just presented itself to her. So it's a reactive publicity and promotion opportunity. So you've got to be on the spot and respond straight away, and that's a really good point, and I'll explain that. So to make the most of it, I'm talking about call-outs like what I've just described from experts and for case studies. So if you're an expert in something and somebody wants a case study, or you want to sort of talk about an experience that potentially could be relevant to your business as well, you get a chance to have a voice. Requests for prizes and review products and giveaways for TV, magazines and popular websites. We get them all the time. It's a good new product that might be appropriate for a particular audience that either watches that television show, listens to that radio station. Here's an opportunity to throw a few products in, and very, very low cost. And requests for giveaways at events. So a lot of people have their little goodie bags here today, and sometimes we get a lot of requests for things that would be appropriate for a certain demographic, certain socio-economic level that might be appropriate for a giveaway at an event. And there you go, you've got your product in the hands of your target market. I mean, it's so simple. So that's what SourceBottle provides you, and that's one of the things I just really want you to take advantage of, because it's absolutely free. This is an example. I won't labour on it. So journalist seeks an expert for comment on the current food crisis. And I just wanted to give an example of a great response. I'm a Sydney food economist. I've got strong views on this. It's my position. And, if you wanted to talk about this, and I'm available here, and these are my contact details. It's pretty simple in terms of that's a snapshot of a great response that was obviously a successful response. So I just thought I might give you quick tips when you sign up. What to do when you get a call out and you think, oh, that's great. So do respond immediately. Really, really good point. Journalists might put an expiry date or time as sort of 2 days away. But if they get a great source that responds in the first hour, they're going to go with them. Their story's, filed within sort of 2 hours of the post being published, and they'll ask me. They often send me emails and say, look, I've been inundated. I've found my source. You can pull it down now. And you've missed out. And then I get sort of all these emails saying, but it said that, the deadline was Friday at 5 o'clock. Well, I'm sorry, but They don't need you anymore. So that's one of the big tips. Ensure your contact details are correct. I get lots of bounce backs that come back to the site, to me actually, when they've gone to lots of trouble and written a great response, but their contact details are incorrect. So the journalist, often won't sort of go, well, this email just bounced back, I'll go to the next person. So it's just such a little thing. And explain why, like that last example did, you are the right person, you're the right source for the job. So don't attach your full response, just a teaser. I don't want you to waste your time, just in case. I mean, it's a popular service. There are a lot of people subscribed, so it's quite competitive, which is why I'm saying sell yourself. But yeah, I don't want you to waste your time. It's a numbers game. Throw your hat in the ring as many times as you can, and eventually it'll manifest in something significant. So yeah, don't say you're the right source. Yeah, I fit the bill. I satisfy everything. Tick, tick, tick. And don't be rude or request payment. I get a lot of that too. People sort of saying, well, I charge on an hourly rate. And I'm like, do you understand the value of the publicity this could generate for you? Anyway. Okay, so that's the reactive. So that's part one of this coordinated campaign, the reactive. And that's the stuff that presents itself to you. And to not only sort of, SourceBottle's not the only, obviously, site that generates those sorts of opportunities. If you follow journalists on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, all those sorts of opportunities do present themselves just, in the natural course of the way social media operates. So just keep your eye open for it. Proactive requires a bit more effort. That's why there's a lot more sort of involved in it. Obviously you're putting in a lot more effort. So looking at, say, pictures via press release, and that's social media release, and that's video media release. So you can look at ways of sending the message out. And now there's lots of great sites that actually, you have the keyword, they optimise your press release for you. So there's lots of really great ways to have your, even if it's not newsworthy and you're not actually really trying to generate it to get a journalist or a blogger hooked into it. When people are searching on a search engine, and you've got a well-optimised press release on one of the sites that are available sitting there, it often sort of comes up in an organic search anyway. So it's really, really important to start thinking about generating your own press releases, not for the simple purpose of trying to get publicity in a broadsheet or on a television program. So sending in samples to relevant media and blogs. If you've got a new product, a lot of people might sort of just willy-nilly, or you might sort of find a magazine and go, I really want this product to be in this magazine. It's my perfect sort of market. I know the readership is absolutely spot on. So you can send in a product or follow up and say, look, I'd love you to sample my product. I'd like to send some samples in so you can try it and review it in your magazine or on your site. I suggest don't just spray and pray, because it's such an expensive exercise, where you send it out to plenty of organisations and media outlets and just hope that someone's going to cover it, because it's such an expensive exercise and it's so wasteful. Creating and publishing content, that's the next thing. Does anyone blog here? Yes? Yes? A weeny bit? Okay. So blogging is a really, really powerful tool. I'll just say creating content is a really, really powerful way of getting your message across and creating a readership that's incredibly loyal. And that's why bloggers are becoming so powerful, because they're so influential over their audiences that are interested in particular areas, and sometimes more powerful than the sort of mainstream media itself. So I wouldn't encourage you to just take up blogging as a hobby, but I really think you should be serious about creating content that's relevant to your sort of area of expertise. I don't want to say things like keywords and that sort of stuff, because I don't know if you necessarily want to get to that stage or really sort of get too heavily involved in the technical side behind creating great content that has the right keywords so that then you're found in an organic search. But if you're talking and you're interested in a particular area, it's likely that you're using the right language that's going to appeal to your target audience. And if you're generating content, then it's likely that you're going to be found in searches, which is where a lot of us spend our time finding things to either buy or that we're interested in reading, on those industries and on those areas. So generating content is really, really important. And I've said pitching via the media bag, and that's the other business that I've got that tries to sort of simplify the whole process of getting a product or a service in the hands of a journalist or blogger who reviews that product. And I'll show you that in a minute. But so this is kind of the second component, and this is actually where all the work's at. So if you're generating some content, whether it's an article, whether you're writing a post for somebody else, whether you're creating your own post, whatever you're doing, I want you to take it the next step and incorporate it into a coordinated campaign. That's the media bag. That just shows, that's just another way. I sort of don't want to, I'm not doing a big sales pitch here. That's just another way of getting your product or service in the hands of influential journalists and bloggers. But I want you to leverage as much as possible. So if you've got a post that you've done, I'll give you an example of what I mean. I did a tweet chat, which might sound a bit strange. Who's on Twitter here? Is anyone on Twitter? Everyone on Twitter? No? Facebook? Who's on Facebook? Okay, well that's okay. We've got a more obvious Facebook audience. I'm a lot more active on Twitter, and I have been for a long time. But so when I'm saying leverage, I had a tweet chat, which is just like a Q&A with a journalist and blogger over in, I don't know, somewhere in the US, and he writes for a very high-level tech publication over there. Talks about reviewing mobile apps, so you know all those little things you press on your phone, and that create some service and perform some benefit. And so I interviewed him, and I did a Q&A. I sent out a media alert. There you go. That's my first thing. So basically, just saying this is what's going to happen. This is the date. Tune in. Follow this. You know, it was really, really basic. Just where, when, why. And I put it on a service called Pitch Engine, which is just one of those sites that is, they sort of optimise your press release. You can share it socially. So I shared that media alert to highlight this conversation that I wanted people to obviously follow. Then I did had the interview, and then I wrote up the Q&A, and I put it on my blog. So it was really just, this is him. This is why he's so impressive at what he does, you know, basically the sales pitch. This is the Q&A. This is what you should do, and, you know, and if all else fails, try the media bag, pretty much. And then I was going to put that into an abstract and send that out as another press release. So now all of a sudden I've got plenty of opportunities where my name is going to appear with words like product reviews, with, you know, aligned with this significant character. But also, I also then looked at how to, I thought, oh, well, I might tweet my blog post, and I might Facebook my blog post, and I might do that a couple of times, but just with different introductions, different hooks to try to get people interested. And then I might start a discussion on LinkedIn. And, you know, so there's a whole lot of different things where social media kind of opens up and gives you all these opportunities to leverage from this one little bit of work. It really wasn't hard. And then my network then shares it amongst their network. And so you can see how powerful it can be just from one little bit of effort if you incorporate and leverage really, really effectively. So yeah, there's no quick fix. That's really what I wanted to say there. Consistency is really important. And then, so integrating an intercoordinated campaign, I kind of gave you a bit of an example of what I mean by that. So I'm talking about taking one bit of effort and then consistently. So if you blog once a month, once a week, once a day, I mean, God, that would be terrible. But if you blog or write content for somebody else fairly consistently, and then you introduce and you integrate that into a coordinated campaign, which I'll tell you. So I'll come back to the coordinated campaign. This just talking about looking at the reactive part. So, you know, as part of the coordinated campaign, you're looking at the reactive elements, which are signing up to the free drink up alerts and scanning it every day, responding before 5 p.m, and being available for interviews. Now, that's a tick. You can tick that off straight away. That's part of what you're going to do every day as part of your coordinated campaign. But the more sort of proactive stuff is identifying keywords and phrases and using them in the content of what you're creating. So they're the words that people search under when they're looking in your in Google or in any other search engines. Develop the content marketing plan and an action calendar. Write the content and then promote or leverage according to the content management plan. So what I mean by that is, so you've got your keywords, you write your blog post, and you say, okay, now how am I going to get the most bang for my buck here? And you think, okay, well, I'm going to add it to Facebook. I'm going to add it to my personal page, my business page. I'm going to add it to groups that I'm part of. So does anyone part of groups or anything here? Yes? So do you, within the groups, do you guys all sort of chat and do you share content and information?
Yeah, I try not to do it too much.
You don't want to be, yeah. But I mean, if you've got really valuable content, I don't think anyone, I certainly have never offended if someone's selling me something, great, I really find that annoying. But if someone's saying, this is a really interesting article that deals with this, or I wrote this and thought you might be interested, no one's going to take offence to that. And you're adding value, and then you're becoming kind of an expert, a recognised expert on that area. And it's really powerful. So you start doing things like that, and then people then share it on, particularly if it's well written and you've got a good hook. So you're sort of really pulling people in, saying, you must read this. We'll see the same with Twitter. I mean, I follow a lot of people on Twitter, and if you don't know much about Twitter, it's just a microblog. And I follow a lot of magazine publishers and journalists who really understand the art of engaging you. So hooking you in, grabbing your attention. And they might sort of have one article, there might be one sort of story, and they might have 3 or 4 different leads in to sort of get people to want to read it. So if the first one doesn't appeal, the second one will. And I'll know it's the same article, but like Mamma Mia is a fantastic sort of, it's a Twitter handle is, at Mamma Mia. And Mamma Mia is a site run by Mia Freeman, and she, Mia Freeman? Yeah, that's right. And she's really, really fantastic at talking about a lot of sort of contemporary issues. And she's got a huge audience, so it's quite a powerful blog for one of site. And what they do on Twitter is really, really engaging. And I think, so you start watching people that are really clever at appealing to their audience and getting their audience in, because it's just another outlet to suck you into your website. I mean, all of these are just trying to get you to a place where you want them to be, so where you want their eyeballs to fall. And so, Twitter is a really fantastic. So you look at sort of 3 to 5 different tweets, schedule them when you think most people that you're trying to appeal to are watching, and then look at Google+. I know I don't want to spend too much time because I don't think everyone here is really into social media, but I'm so passionate about it because it's been so effective in raising the profile of my own business, which is the social media site in itself. And that I have to say, you've just got to try, just have a look. Google Plus is really powerful. I mean, it's Google. Google is the most powerful search engine globally. So, of course, it's created its own social network, which is Google Plus. Now, Google Plus, of course, is going to get a little bit more weight, when they're searching things. If you post something to Google Plus, and just check it out. You can create business pages. It's very much like Facebook, probably just a little bit better. But different sort of audiences migrate there. People that really want content, good content, are usually the sort of people that are at Google Plus. But apparently, if you post an article on Google Plus with your keywords and everything, it gets searched before a lot of the other stuff. So you will be found earlier. So, there's all these little benefits. And that Google hate Facebook, hate Google. So, they're going to give themselves a little extra pat on the back. So I just think, check it out. Check it out. I love Facebook, but I certainly can't say I'm an expert at Facebook. I love watching people who are, and I just think, that's a great idea. I might try that. I might try that. Twitter, I just, could devour. It's introduced me to so many fantastic, powerful, influential to me, people. And
Right, so linked to, yes, not necessarily, the first person you're in contact with is not your buyer. It's through these, we're trying to contact people who promote, who will then have an end buyer.
that's a really good question, and I've sort of made an assumption here. Yeah, so what social media is going to do is, it could potentially be your end buyer, your target market. It can also just create a bit of buzz about you, so to make you raise your profile. And even if it's not the end buyer, it might be a friend of the end buyer. He said, you know what, I saw something the other day. And so it's all about, it's this community, which is a global community, and we're all screaming and shouting to be, please, can you have some, give me some attention, give me some love. But the only way to do that is to just be top of mind. And I think social media, because it's free, I mean, I know it's not, you invest time, but because it's free and quite addictive, a lot of people are sort of drawn to it. And you create these incredible networks. And even if it's not a network of potential buyers, it might be a network of, you might just follow people that you think are great business leaders, or that you are in your industry and you want to see what they're doing and how they're engaging with their audience. And so I suppose it's kind of, it's this whole sort of leverage effect where you do a little bit and the message can travel a lot further, and on a dime. It doesn't cost a lot. So that's why I'm sort of thinking, embrace it as much as you can, because I just think it's the only way right now, it's the only real tool that we have available to us to generate that sort of powerful message on a very, very low cost. Pinterest, is anyone here on Pinterest? No one? Yes? Yes. So that's a really addictive social media site. And if you haven't checked it out, just do. I mean, I don't really know how to use it terribly much with SourceBottle, because it's great for visual products. If you've got a product that you can look at, that you can touch, particularly if it's beautiful, because I go on Pinterest and all I do is look all around. Like, oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's more beautiful. Oh my God, that is so beautiful. Because it's really just a pinboard, an electronic pinboard. That's really all it is, of people's beautiful images and pictures. And then a lot of really savvy people have thought, oh, okay, I can sell my book on this. Because they actually have, and I don't want to get technical, but they have, they're one of the only sites that actually still let you have a follow link back to your site. Because a lot of them don't have, they have a no follow link. So this one has a follow link. So get on it, start make your beautiful hemp products, just make them really visible. Everyone can then see them, follow you, see what else you think is beautiful, and you sort of create a new community online of people who are stimulated by something visual. Now, as I said, I haven't been able to really benefit much from Pinterest through SourceBottle, but I'm making the most of it through MediaBag with people's products and making them visible on Pinterest. So people who are following me on Pinterest will then see, well, this looks like a great product. I'll click through that and I might check that out. So anyway, I could dribble on for ages about that. I just love it. It's just so exciting, and it's a really great space. And as soon as you sort of take a leap and get into it, then you can really embrace it. I think the other thing is there's no overnight success stories. I really think that, I always laugh at the fact that WD-40, is it WD-40? Yeah, WD-40. It took 40 times for them to get it right. I mean, I love that. I think, oh, thank God there's hope for all of us. I make mistakes all the time, but I think you just appreciate as long as you're going in the right direction. And social media is a perfect example of just little steps. I met Lara online. We were trying to work it out about probably nearly 3 years ago, probably when I just started SourceBottle. There was no intention to sort of make something from this connection, but it was wonderful. And it's been so fruitful for both of us. So anyway, I'm back to what I was talking about, which is the content marketing plan. So trying to sort of get the leverage, and by doing that in a coordinated way is really what I'm trying to say. So you've got your reactive stuff, your proactive stuff, you've written a blog post, you've added your keywords, and then you've thought, and I've posted it all over, sprayed it everywhere, splashed it on Facebook, put up some Instagram pictures, linked it, whatever. Then think, okay, but I need to sort of do something else. So you could think, okay, well, I can comment on some other blogs, or I don't have a blog of my own. So what I might do is I might start commenting on other blogs. I might ask whether I can submit a guest post. If they've already got a great audience, and I don't have an audience that significant, then maybe they're a really good vehicle for me to grow my audience in a particular area. So, you know, just say I'm selling, I don't know, what do you sell? Ride a bike? You're a cycling instructor. Okay, so the challenge is, of course, that you're sort of local based. There's only one of you, and you, yeah. So okay, but if you were looking at, there's nothing stopping you from looking at sort of local blogs or people who write their cycling groups and cycling whatever, and if they have anything online, there's nothing stopping you from sort of joining in the discussion, saying, can I submit a guest post on the things that people are doing wrong, or, you know, when we're training kids, what they're doing wrong, what they should be doing, road safety, or whatever, and start sort of joining in that discussion online, and then that audience then starts to pay attention to you, and then you might sort of siphon them back off to you. So it's really powerful in terms of just leveraging from other people's audiences. And sometimes you can just submit as a reprint of your particular blog as a reprint to other relevant blogs. Potentially, if you've got, so if it's a good enough article and you've done a lot of research, you certainly don't want it to be wasted just sitting in a blog, perhaps with a small audience, where you kind of think, okay, I can spread the word much further. Yeah. I only knew I had half an hour, and I tried to cram so much into it, but I just... Yes, so I wanted to see whether any questions. No?
That's right. Look, if you're happy to stay afterwards, I'm sure there's people that will love to ask some questions. If it's a little bit like me, you get it off on social media. And I will be here. We'll come up for air about once, and
I know.
yeah, maybe food, a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
But as you can see, this is now a genuine relationship that, as Beck said, didn't come from anything except for I loved your product. I've been in the Sydney Morning Herald because of your product. I've driven around the east coast of Australia in a minibus with 5 other single girls because of your product. And as a business advisor with the BEC, which was a former life I had, a lot of my clients, which were SME business owners, got PR that they never thought that they could possibly get through using SourceBottle. So I've been a fan since day one, and that's how our genuine relationship started. So can you please all join me in thanking Beck?